Amen, I'll introduce you. Go. Okay, everybody, welcome to CFTA. It is a wet and funny night. It is May 1st, 5th month of the year. Keep yourselves huddled together, but as you're cuddling there, give your host a warm round of applause. Amen, Nassar!
What's up, everyone? Thank you for braving the elements and coming out tonight on May 1st. I know this month is also, we have Labor Day, which is good, where we're celebrating people who work by asking them to work some more. It's insane. And May in Canada is crazy. Like, where I moved from, we only had 2 seasons. Extra crispy and well done. Here, you have really cold, and then I don't give a fuck what you want to do. This is the weather you have. Like, this week, for fuck's sake, this week, it was sunny, it was hot, it was beautiful. You could go out in a t-shirt and just rock a smoking tan. But now, it's cold, it's dreary, and I have no idea what to do with my wardrobe. I don't know how I'm supposed to dress. I have a bag of clothes in my car just in case. So you have the rain boots in case it rains. You have the flip-flops in case the weather is sunny. You have the t-shirt. You have the jacket. What else do we need to carry for Canada to start taking us seriously and give us some decent weather? Kuwait was no different. You only had summer, really hot, medium hot, extra spicy. I got into a lot of shit when I was in Kuwait. One of those stories had to do with a Canadian person I knew here. Shout out to you, Emily. And I'll tell you that story because it's mind-boggling how easily you can deceive people when you talk like this. So this friend had a problem with her roommate. Nothing to do with her. And I just met this woman online. And she says, we need your help. We're at the police station. I know you go to work in a suit, so please come over and pretend to be our lawyer. Now, impersonating a lawyer in front of a police officer should be a criminal offense, right? But my stupid mind was like, let's do it. So I go there and I introduce myself as a lawyer and the policeman buys it. And it's just a matter of conversation. You know why? Because he was not paying a single shred of attention to me. He was focused on the blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman from Canada who I was there to help. And that's insane. It's like being a mediocre Superman, for example. On Krypton, you're nothing. With the yellow sun, you kind of have a little power, but not too much. And that's another story we have in Egypt, where I just got into an argument with a bank employee, because I want to make a credit card in the country that I come from. They are complicating shit so much. They're asking for an HR letter. They're asking for proof of employment. They're asking for a salary. And I'm like, guys, I'm giving you money. Why on earth do I have to prove to you where it came from? I'll just say it is savings. And they're saying, no, you got to do this and you got to do that. And we have to get this paper and that paper. And again, mediocre Superman, because compared to the average Egyptian, I have a lot more in the bank than they would. But when it comes to proving it, I don't have to show you where my money comes from. I just need to tell you that I want to put my money in your bank and you give me a credit card. It's a very simple transaction. Am I right? Supposedly. They don't feel that way. Now, we really need to thank you all you guys for coming here. We know it's not easy to traverse Canadian wilderness and come down to the pits of Hamilton. You will notice that the CFTA has put on a new look. just for you guys today. We've updated the facade. We're giving you a lot more in terms of food options. There's a lot of snacks. We have delicious patties. We have beef and vegan options because we need to cater across the board. And we also have these really cool t-shirts. And again, as always, we do have the triple camera action that we have here. So if you would like to get your video, please do see Jake or Dex or George behind the counter. And now, without further ado, let's call up our first comic. And I need to ask, who is the first comic? What's your name, my friend?
Doug Conan.
Doug Conan. Give it up for Doug Conan, everyone. You're tall. You're tall. Here you go.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, what's up? It's me, Monochrome Eric Cartman. It's nice to be here. This is nice. Hamilton's scary, right? We can admit that. Hamilton's a bit of a scary city, right? A lot of characters in Hamilton. And by characters, I mean people who look like Bilbo that one moment in Lord of the Rings when he's lunging for the ring around Frodo's neck, like, give me the fucking, like scary fucking people here. I used to complain about my hometown a lot. I'm from St. Thomas, Ontario. I used to tell people like, oh, St. Thomas sucks, St. Thomas sucks. I was just back for Easter. It's kind of nice. I think my life just sucked when I lived there, which makes sense because all my complaints about St. Thomas were always just really specific to me. Like people would ask me like, oh, why does St. Thomas suck so much? I'm like, oh, no one fucks you and you get burger flipped all the time. That's not a St. Thomas issue, that's a Cody issue, right? I'm blaming the whole town for that. There's something, I feel like when I get back within city limits in St. Thomas, like my virginity grows back. Like it climbs back onto my back, it makes my hunch even worse. It looks like the devil's dragging me down by my tits down to hell. Like it's not a good look. But I have had sex a little bit now. I don't want to brag. My body count 5. Pretty good, right? Thank you. For looking like this, like a bearded Susan Boyle, not too shabby. Not too shabby, 5. Body count, weird word, right? Do people still say that? Body count, kill count, that kind of shit. It's just so aggressive, right? I don't want to think of the women I've slept with as victims. I'd rather think of them as members of a secret society who have taken a vow of silence about my penis. That's what makes me feel better. Just know they'll never speak about it again. I'm not ready for kids. My girlfriend's very ready for kids. I don't think I'm ready for the responsibility. Like, I still take my shirt off when I eat Chef Boyardee because I can't trust myself. And she wants to have children. I can't take care of those, but there are some reasons that make me want to have kids. Like the idea of like righting the wrongs that our parents committed, because I don't want to blame all my problems on my parents, but they did fuck me up quite a bit. Like one thing I did a lot as a kid, McDonald's birthdays. Why? Why was that allowed? When your brain is just like Play-Doh, why do they let you go to McDonald's just to get wired for life? Loving that. What a weird time to mix these wires in my brain. You know, they're singing happy birthday. I'm looking around at all the faces in my life, all the people that I love, mom and dad, aunt and uncle, the Hamburglar. I'm like, what is he doing here? Now I just hear them for life. Anytime I eat McDonald's, I just hear people singing happy birthday in the background. Like, why'd you set me up for failure like this? Why'd you get me McDonald's and then get me a Sega? Like, why can't you take me apple picking and then get me a bike? Like, set me up for some activity. I don't know. I also blame them for the way they prepared veggies when I was a kid, because they would just like boil them, and that was it. Boil them or nuke them. But like, anytime they had meat, it would just be like marinated overnight and then dry rubbed and then like put in the oven, and they would keep like putting juices on it and stuff. But the vegetables, just an afterthought all the time. Like, I think if I were to have kids, I would let them have bad food, but I'm going to associate bad memories with it. Like, oh, you want to have ice cream? Sure, but you have to watch videos of 9/11 the whole time you eat it. You want ice cream, I want answers. We're both going to get what we want here. Cool. I do like the idea of manipulating little kids. That sounds fucked up, but we all went through it. when we were younger, right? Like I played baseball when I was younger, and in our championship game, the coach took us aside. Like they had a table full of trophies already that we couldn't see. They were across the diamond, and our coach was like, "Look, the organizers of this tournament, they don't believe in you guys so much. They already put the other team's names on the trophies." And we were outraged. We were so mad. They're like, "They can't do that. They can't do that." We went out there. We were foaming at the mouth. We won that game so fucking hard. We went and looked at our trophies afterwards. No names on the trophies. Just said champions. But that's what you can get away with kids, just manipulating them. This might have kept me away from sports. I don't know. I've only tried a couple times. Like I tried out for basketball in grade 7, and you did all the drills, dribbling, passing, traveling, other basketball terms. And after the tryouts, our coach was like, "All right, I'm going to post a list outside the gym tomorrow of everyone who got cut from the team," which is weird, right? He usually posts a list of everyone who made the team, not a list of people who got cut. Like, what is his logic there? He's just like, I can't bully any of these kids, but if I could, be the ones on this list here. He posts a list outside the gym. I go to the gym the next day. It's a piece of paper with one name on it, which at that point, if it's one name, it was my name, by the way, that's not a list. That's a private conversation you have with one person. He felt so bad for me for not letting me on the basketball team. He offered me the position of equipment manager. Equipment manager for our basketball team. Basketball, that sport with one piece of equipment. So I would just hold the basketball until someone better at basketball needed it and just hand it on. There you go. All right, that's all I wanted to do. You guys have been a lot of fun. Go for your host, whose name I forget.
One more round, everyone. Thank you so much. So, congratulations on dating. Having a girlfriend. I'm sorry. I have to say it because I'm single. I've been single for a while now, and I decided to get off all of the dating apps because it was just too much pressure. And I'm thinking we need a new way for men to meet people, to meet women, okay? We need a new way for men. All the men in this room who are not currently dating someone should have a new way to meet people. And it should tie in with our, what we love to do. So gaming. If you find a woman on this app that is a game that you like, and she's outside of your league, you have to go on a quest to win her love and appreciation. You have to go to like Cartier and buy her some expensive stuff. And along the way, you have to fight dicks. Like the dick pics she gets in her DMs, those will be turned into monsters that you have to actually fight to win the right to date this woman who is out of your league. Our next comic, needs no introduction. I love seeing this guy perform. He is a personal trainer. He looks like a cross between Voldemort and Vin Diesel. Give it up for Aaron Redublo, everyone.
Keep it going for your host, guys. Yeah, I wish I had the nose slits now, That would have been sick. Voldemort, Anyways, I'm actually a trainer, by the way. I work at the gym, but I just greet people at the front. That's what I'm not a trainer. I'm just like, have a good workout. They're like, you too. Oh, wait, And that happens like every time, every time, But sometimes it's like, they don't freak out about it, which makes it weird. It's like they double down. I'm like, have a good workout. They're like, you too. Yeah, I know your schedule. I know you're working out today. I know that. Yeah. Like just fucking stalker and shit. That's creepy. I actually had a gym stalker too, which was so creepy, Like they would follow me onto like every piece of equipment. Like I'd be working out and they'd be beside me. And then I go to the next thing and they're beside me. And it was just so obvious. Ugh. Anyway, she's my girlfriend now. I do like having protein shakes after the gym, you know? And I always have this chocolate protein shake. It's like my ritual, you know, have my chocolate protein shake. And dude, I was so pissed because like the other day there was like, okay, I had these like brand new shorts, right? And I was drinking the chocolate protein shake and it really dripped right onto the crotch of my brand new shorts. I was like, dude, what are the odds that the chocolate would literally drip like right next to the shit stain? Because they were like, dude, they were like brand new from Value Village. Brand new shirts. Yeah, the stains were custom. They predated me. They were already there. Custom browning, you know? That's kind of nasty, right? That's gross. So I you know, obviously I put them in the wash. That's nasty. I want to wash that shit. You know, so I put them in the wash. And dude, when I took them out of the wash, I found out that I didn't even check the pockets. There was like a whole stack of like new condoms in there. I was like, the fuck? Dude, I was pissed, obviously, you know, because I can't use these, you know, because they're too big. They're too big still. I had to put them in the dryer, you know. I had to do it 2 spins, you know, extra high heat, you know. They were huge, you know. They're huge. They're like those extra regular sized ones. You know, I could fit like 3 of me in there. It's like I put it on, I get lost. Help! Help! Let me out! Let me out! I just wanted to have sex. You guys don't relate to this? You guys never fall in your condom? You guys never fall all the way into your condom and suffocate? It'd be so big. I'd still have like 3 days of air in there. That's how much air would still be. For me, it doesn't even fucking make sense. It's an open mic. I do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, I'll try stuff. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Don't clap for me. I don't need pity. Filipino, by the way. Tall Filipino. I know Dex Filipino. Tall Filipinos are kind of rare, right? You know, which is sick because they love basketball too. You know, but the thing is, I was so shit. I wasn't good. You know, all my cousins looked at me like, you don't deserve that. It should have been me. I could have made the NBA. Also, give me back the ball. Give it. I'm like, stop it. You're tickling my ankles. Also, what the fuck? Why are you talking with that accent, bro? You're from Mississauga. What do you do? Filipino were raised kind of like whitewashed. You know, my parents, I was born here in Toronto. Like I was born in Canada. But the thing is, my parents never taught me how to speak the Filipino, like Tagalog is the language. They never taught me how to speak Tagalog because they raised me like super Canadian and being, you know, they want to raise me Canadian to, you know, talk shit about me in front of my face in another language right in front of me, which is so disrespectful, right? It's so obvious too. They're just like talking in front of me. I'm trying to decipher it, you know? I'm trying to read their lips. And all I hear is my mom's like, ay nako. Aaron's room literally smells like shit. Okay, it smells like fucking like shit-stained undies, and I'm actually saying this in English because I want you to hear it and clean your fucking room. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? What language is that? Ay nako? What does that mean? What does ay nako mean? Yeah. Anyone here have a hot mom? Yeah, no one's ever like, yeah! If you were like, yeah, that'd be kind of fucked up. That'd be weird, if anything. You know, and I get it, you know, because ew, you hear that shit, it's like it makes your hair stand up, right? It makes your hair, yeah. But dude, I get it, because like every time I would get that growing up, you know, like Aaron, your mom's so hot. Your mom's friggin' hot. I just want to grab her boobs and I'm like, ew, dude, this is a fucking weird parent-teacher interview. Gonna talk about my grades at some point or what? Which is kind of like disrespectful, like, you know, just to like say, oh, your mom's hot. That's so disrespectful, you know? But then they tell me that I look like her, and I'm like, go on. You gay, bro? What? You said my mom's hot. Wait, you mean like what? Thank you. Thank you. You want to fuck or something or what? You want to, yeah. Worth the drive from Mississauga. Yeah, I have 1 minute left. Totally worth the 1 hour drive. There's a lot of bridges I can go off on the way. I'll listen to the set on the way back. I'll leave you on this, and then I'll Leave forever. You guys have been cool, by the way. I love this room. I honestly love this place. You guys are so cool. Do I have anything I want to say? Okay, I'll say one more thing. I'm like a really good neighbor, I think. Any of you, would you consider yourself good neighbors? Like, do you pick up your dog shit? You know? Okay, so I'm the only you fucking monsters. I actually do pick up my dog shit. Dude, I feel like I'm too good of a neighbor, though, because my dog will shit, and I'll be out of bags. And I'll like still look for anything, you know? I'll look for anything to use, you know? I'll like look in my wallet, like any good family pictures I can use, you know? You know? I'll look for like a leaf or something and still gets in my hands. I'm like, carrots? What would they eat? Yeah. But dude, one time I got so lucky, dude. There was this one time that there was literally one more bag. Like there was one bag and it was perfect. And he took a huge shit. So I picked up the shit and I tied it up, but then she shat again. But the knot was so tight and I was like, oh fuck. So I tried to dude, I used my teeth to open that bag. That's how good of a neighbor I am. I don't even know what else to say with that. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I don't know. Apparently I like to eat dog shit. Okay, anyways, you guys have been cool. Keep it going for yourselves and keep going for your host.
One more round for Aaron. Aaron, I have something to tell you. I feel partially Pinoy because I lived in Kuwait for a long time and everyone there is Filipino. So, kamusta ka, kabayano? Oh yeah, you don't speak it. Well, there you go. Canada's a great place. I love how we're on the fence about a lot of things, how we get confused about so many things. Football specifically, some people here call it soccer, yet Toronto team is called the Toronto FC Football Club, which is great compared to our southern neighbors who are the reason we call it soccer. And I feel I have to correct that grave injustice. With Americans, they think that everything just revolves around them. Whenever I would meet a Canadian as I was traveling, I would always automatically assume that they were Canadian until, they didn't shoot me. Then you find out that they... Oh, did I fuck that up? Did I say American Canadian? Oh, shit. Ooh. Anyways, let's bring on your next comic. Now, this person has been coming here for a very long time. He is Milton's finest. So everyone, please give a warm round of applause and a big welcome to Dante.
Eamon was talking about a video game where you have to fight off dicks. And all I could imagine was Eamon playing the game. He's like, oh, no! Make it stop! Anyways, my name is Dante, or as my friends call me, The Weekend if you never made it. Growing up, I felt like I was the only black guy that couldn't play basketball, which sucked because I grew up in Milton, where I was the only black guy. For a day job, I produce podcasts, and I recently started working on this podcast for disability awareness. This podcast has 3 hosts. One of the hosts is completely blind, one of the hosts has a crazy stutter, and the last host, he's in an electric wheelchair, like he's a quadriplegic. So we had been recording for like a couple months now, and in the middle of one of the recordings, the blind guy is like, Dante, I didn't know you're black. I'm like, that's fucked up, you're blind. Everything you see is black. It's fucked up when, you go out for drinks with the guy that stutters and you find out he's an attempted racist, Like he gets a little 1-2 shots and all of a sudden it's just last week we were recording and one of the guys is like, can you Google what's the highest someone has fallen out of a plane and survived? So I Googled it. Turns out some Serbian lady in the 70s fell out of a plane 33,333 feet from the air, hit the ground, boom, and survived. Crazy. It said injury sustained, broken face, missing teeth, broken ribs. Next line, recovery. She was able to walk again in 10 months. And then we all just looked to the guy in the wheelchair. And we're like, man, all you did was dove into a pool. But those guys are really cool. They actually asked me to do, they asked me to go on one of their shows in Toronto, and so they booked it at this venue called Comedy Bar Danforth. And for those of you that don't know, Comedy Bar Danforth is one of the only wheelchair accessible clubs in Toronto. So so I go there, and as soon as I walk out on stage, I look at the front row, and it looks like a drive-in movie theater. Just like 30 wheelchairs. One guy's laughing with the button, just goes, heh, heh, heh. So I do this joke on that show, and normally I don't do this joke, but I'm gonna do it for you guys so you get the context of the story. All right, so this is the joke. Does anybody Google famous people that have the same birthday as them? Who do you have? Will Ferrell? That's dope. You know, you look up these famous people and you're like, oh, I have the same birthday. Hopefully I have some of the same traits. Well, I share a birthday with Hitler. You know it. But every day I have the struggle of trying not to be Hitler. But Israel makes it so hard. So I do that joke, right, at the show. And this guy rolls up to me after the show, like he literally rolled, because he's in a wheelchair, so he rolls up, he's like, "Are you Jewish?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Don't say that hateful shit again. If I was sitting any closer to the stage, I would have gotten out of my wheelchair and I would have punched you in the face." I said, "Bro, I'm not a hater, I'm a healer. I almost made you walk again." Eamon was talking about dating apps. I've been on the dating apps. It's been all right. I was on Hinge recently, and I matched with this girl that I recognized from high school. But in her bio, it said, "I identify as a transformer." Now, like, I'm such a nerd, right? That I read that, and I was like, I wonder if she would suck the allspark out of me. You know, most people, they want that hawk tua, you know? But I want that. All right, I'm gonna put you guys on some game real quick. Now, as a society, I do think we're doing better with racism, but there are still some things that are subconsciously racist. Like, have you guys noticed that the white garbage bags are for inside? Did you guys also notice that, like, the black garbage bags are longer? You know what's the most fucked up, though? The brown garbage bags are for landscaping. And they avoid showers. Damn, I feel like I shook you guys with that last one. You know, you guys can laugh at that. It's just garbage bags. It's not that serious, you know? You know, growing up as a black garbage bag, All right, that's my time, guys. Thank you.
It's Groundhog Day. Thank you, Dante, for that. So, we're talking about sports. And Dante was talking about sex, I think. So, sports and sex. Let's have a little story, an analogy I made up. You ever realize how basketball is the perfect analogy for the female orgasm? Check this out. You're dribbling up and down. The rules are so fast-paced. You cannot double dribble. You can't stop and go. If you stop, you have to tag another partner in. By partner, I mean finger. The end goal is to get a ball this size into a ring, a hoop, that is the exact same size. You can circle around the rim and still not find the G-spot. Whereas male libido and sexuality is just like American football. You grab a ball and just rush straight to the end line. If anybody gets in your way, you can still keep going, and all you have to do is cross the line that is the width of the entire pitch. There is nothing elusive about the male orgasm. Your next comic is not a male orgasm. Your next comic is an amazing person who's been doing this for a long time. I had the pleasure of meeting them a while ago. They have many interesting stories to share, many funny things to say. Everybody give a warm round of applause for Daryl McCallum.
Yeah, I like your analogy about basketball. By the way, I suck at basketball. I'm from Vancouver. Well, I lived there most of my life. And I moved here about 8 years ago. And the one question I get all the time is, why the fuck would you move from Vancouver to Hamilton? Well, I can tell you about Vancouver. Vancouver is a cesspool. It's a cesspool of drug addiction, homelessness, and depression, with a thin veneer of being a beautiful, gorgeous, world-class city. What I love about Hamilton, there's no veneer. Back in Vancouver, I do love Hamilton, and I've actually lately been thinking about doing some volunteer work, because back in Vancouver, I did a lot of charity work. I think my proudest accomplishment is that I helped South American children achieve a higher education. No applause? Oh, come on, thank you. All I mean to say is that I put Pablo Escobar's grandchildren through university. If you're playing comic bingo, that is a cocaine joke. Yes, all right. Well, last month was the 1-year anniversary of a question that was asked online to women. Divided the internet. If you were lost in the woods, what would you rather run across, a bear or a man? I am 100% man. 100% man. But in some communities in Vancouver, I'm also a bear. Rawr. I don't know if that round part works. I think I might cut that one. Yeah, it's been a while for me. I'm not particularly good with the ladies. Probably because I'm a barely functioning alcoholic. I get on that whiskey and let's see, the couple of ladies in the room. Isn't it awesome when a guy texts you at 5 a.m., you barely know how much he loves you? Isn't it? Oh. See, for me, whiskey is like the dark side of the Force. My phone is the Death Star. Any potential relationship, that's Alderaan. You may fire when ready. Brand new, first time tried that one. Obviously needs a little work. I've been doing a lot of good things for myself lately, though, to help my mental health. I started going to the gym. I know you can't tell yet, because I haven't done a TikTok video about it yet, but soon. I've been seeing a therapist. A lot of good things for myself, so I think when I get whiskey drunk, that's just my subconscious saying, you're doing good on your mental health. Why the fuck are you gonna fuck it up with a relationship? Room for improvement, but I like it. I did get an STD test done a couple of months back. I got a clean bill of health, But you may ask, Daryl, if you've not been laid in a while, why would you get an STD test? Well, the only people that would ask me that obviously haven't had a cotton swab stuck up their urethra. Well, at least that's what I thought. That's how they used to do it. Now they just draw some blood. That's what's wrong with society. We've lost the personal touch. All right. Another scare you can get with STD test is pregnancy. I do not want to get someone pregnant. I don't. I do not want to be a father. And I'm sure that any baby in any womb connected to me would be like, sitting at a restaurant? Yes. Well, I'll have the coat hanger, good sir. Thank you. There's good news on pregnancy scares, though. The dollar store has started selling pregnancy tests. The bad news is it's made in China. So it only works well if you're carrying a boy. If you're carrying a girl, a lot of adoption clinics appear in your TikTok feed. All right, that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daryl. So yeah, the internet is a strange place. What you mentioned about what was happening a few years ago. You know what's the current craze taking everyone? The current question everyone is asking?
What's that? Gorilla versus man.
100 people versus one gorilla. Who's gonna win? Now, you have to give it to these people who just find more and more insane shit to ask. So before we had, is it a blue dress or a gold dress? We had, are there more wheels in the world or doors? And now we're asking, how would 100 men fare against a gorilla? I believe if it was 100 Canadian men, they won't get far. Half of them will be apologizing to the gorilla and trying to give it its rights. The other half will, be running up with their Tim Hortons cups and their beer bellies, and they're trying to fight this huge, monstrous ball of muscle. And in their mind, they think they can do it. But unfortunately, they won't be able to. Our next comic, the blue-haired wonder, who has you wondering what persona they're going to bring on stage. I've been seeing him perform for a while, and trust me when I say I'm really looking forward to this next performance. So everybody, give it up for Joey, Allahu Akbar, Bomb.
Thank you, Eamon. I don't know. I don't even know if I could do this. I'm so depressed. Thank you for that. I've been playing with this. I've been using this virtual reality headset a lot, and I've come to the conclusion that my life sucks. It really sucks. Like, in virtual reality, my avatar has the body of a god. In reality, the only exercise I get is when a pretty girl walks by, I suck in my gut. But I don't even bother doing that anymore. In virtual reality, I'm rich. I have a stack of gold this high. Yeah. In reality, I wrote a check to get on the Barton Street bus. Please don't cash that until next Tuesday. My life sucks. In virtual reality, I can throw an axe 100 feet and hit my target every time. In reality, every time I pull out the axe, they call the cops. And in virtual reality, the monsters have this incredible death rattle. Just like, in reality, it's, oh, well, you killed my baby. Like, just boring as fuck. In virtual reality, I can run for hours, leap over or duck under obstacles. I'm a parkour master. In reality, yeah, last week I sprained my ankle getting off the toilet. And it still hasn't healed properly. I hate my life. It fucking sucks. Speaking of reality, we just had a election. Everybody excited? Everybody's guy won? No, you care? I don't know. I always wonder, like, when there's a big change, if things are actually going to change. Are they going to change? Or is it just going to be the same thing? Is the pendulum going to swing? Or is it going to... Like, when I was a kid, the mantra they kept giving me was, girls can do anything boys can do. And I was supposed to stand there with a smile on my face, and oh, the pilot's a woman. Oh, great, I feel safe. And then they tried to really change things, like there's no difference between boys and girls. They tried to give me that. And I didn't believe it until I took my friend Brad out for a really nice meal, and afterwards he blew me. So maybe they are the same. He keeps trying to return the favor, but I'm just so busy. I'm sorry. Then I remember a couple years ago, I was at a men's conference down in Bald Knob, Arkansas. It's an actual place. And yeah, I remember one of the guys at the men's conference stood up and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start identifying as a woman. I'm going to join a women's fighting league, and I'm going to beat the shit out of every girl I see. And we all laughed. You're ridiculous. Then the next guy stood up and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get arrested for a felony, identify as a woman, go to a woman's prison, and have a lot of penis lesbian sex. And we rolled our eyes like that's never going to happen. And that's happened. And yeah, I'm really torn on it. I'm really torn on this because on the one hand, I am outraged anytime I hear a story about a woman who goes into a girl's change room and just starts playing with her penis. No, not outraged. Jealous as fuck. That's the, that's what, but then on the other side, on the other hand, on the other hand, women's sport sucks, right? It sucks. I mean, women's sports sucks. Women's basketball sucks. Women's hockey sucks. I don't mind women's curling, but the men are still superior. But I think that if the women's sport had a bunch of chicks with dicks, I think I would watch it more. Wouldn't you guys? I don't know. I don't know what to think. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Thank you, CFTA. You've been wonderful. Good night.
One more time for Joey, everyone. Thank you for bringing up the elections, Joey. One more thing, another Canadian pastime I cannot participate in yet. So thank you for making me feel not included. Although You did remind me of a funny story I had about how we have managed to monetize horniness. Now, I want to take you back a few years, maybe when a hot woman would make a post online, not even a hot woman, a good woman, would make a post online which shows a little bit of cleavage. All of a sudden, 100 comments. I make a post about how hard I work out and I get 0 interaction. But the woman is getting these 100 comments from, goat herders in Ghana, and they're all saying the same thing, beautiful goddess, we love you so much, blah, 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 blah. And her social media spikes up by a lot. Now, someone decided that, hey, let's monetize horny. Let's give these women the opportunity to charge these sick individuals money for the opportunity that they might be able to get lucky with them. And that's how we got OnlyFans. But I have a question for any girl that has OnlyFans. Why should I pay for the cow when I can get the milk for free? Here's the thing. A lot of them advertise for themselves because you see all these posts on the comedy pages on Instagram. When they want to make money, they push these naked women in your face. And the amount of stuff that they're posting is enough for a guy to get off, especially if said guy was born in the 80s. And you need to keep in mind that when we went to school, we had to stuff pornography on floppy disks. For those of you who don't know what floppy disks are, we're talking about 1 megabyte of information. And yet we would stuff that with so many pictures and videos and shit way back in the day, like in the 90s, in the heyday of when pornography was getting famous on the internet. So you really misunderstand how little we need to get off. On that note, let's bring up your next comic. Now, of everyone in this room, I've known this person the longest. He is a friend, a mentor, a brother, and most importantly, he is my Sherpa when it comes to stand-up comedy. Because 12 years ago, when I first started on stand-up comedy and I was standing on a stage, he was there in the audience. And when I fumbled, he laughed. So everyone, please give a loud round of applause for George Tarabai.
Hey guys, how are you? Let's get the energy up in the room. What do you think? I want to do something different. Yeah. Let's do something different. I want to do some improv. Right? Like right the top, like off the top of my head. Give me any topic. Anything.
Pirates.
What? Pirates. So, I'm not gonna do that. Fuck you. I have a set. I'm not that good. Just gonna do whatever I was planning to do. Congrats, Canada, on a good election. You elected the new prime minister. Proud of you. And people had problems with Mark Carney. They're saying he's British. He's not Canadian. He's British, and he's not British. And I'll tell you why. Because Mark Carney just launched a program to include every Canadian to be able to get dental care for free. And if he was British, dental care wouldn't be anywhere on his top priorities. Yeah. You said pirates? Yeah, fuck no, still not doing it. No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. Yeah, next time, sure. Give me a month or two, if you're still alive. Yeah, I've been fumbling with religion lately. Trying to rekindle my faith with Jesus Christ, or as the Mexicans call him, Jesus Christ as well. And I've been rediscovering religion from a different perspective because now I'm an adult. I have more thoughts and I can, form my own opinions. So I'm reading the Bible, right? And the more I read the Bible, the more I realize Jesus is a fucking psychopath. Like, I cannot fucking stand the guy. I love him because he's supposed to save me, even save me through the sin that I'm committing right now, but he's a fucking psychopath. Like, Jesus never does the thing he's supposed to do first. It always comes second. Because the first thing he wants to do always is show off. Right? Jesus is like, so like, there's this story in the Bible that really caught my attention, which is his disciples were hungry. So Jesus told them, bring me 2 fish and 3 loaves of bread. Like he's gonna make sashimi, right? Like he's trying to. And his disciples were like, Christ, there are so many people. He goes, motherfucker, just get me 2 fish. They're like, we can get more. He's like, get 2 fish. I need to show them what I'm capable of. And then through a miracle, the basket keeps filling up with fish. And people kept, digging and eating. And wow, like everybody was amazed. Then his disciples said, we are Christ, Lord, whatever they called him. I don't know. Maybe they called him Christ. They said, we're going to another city hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away with a boat. Would you like to join? And Jesus, being the psychopath, goes, no, you guys go ahead. I'll follow. Which I wondered why in the Bible there's not a star next to that, and then in the bottom of the page they're saying, and then the disciples said, how the fuck are you gonna follow? And so the disciples go on the boat, and the boat starts rocking. There's high wind, and they're petrified. And they're like, oh my God, we're gonna die. I hope there's heaven. Well, we just saw him. And they start screaming, Lord, Sire, Jesus, whatever, save us, whatever you are. And here's my problem with Jesus and why I think he's he's a professional psychopath. Because he never just, showed up and just calmed the storm and let everybody be safe. No, the first thing he does is he starts walking on water. And he does it in a very cocky way, like, look, I'm walking. Yeah, by the way, that's Jesus' accent, motherfuckers, because he's Arab, right? He's like, yes, look, Muhammad, look. I don't know if there was a Muhammad at the time, but like, look, I can walk on water. Can you, motherfucker, walk on water like me? And Jesus. And then they're like, all right, motherfucker, we see you. Can you just fucking calm the storm down? And he's like, all right, okay, I'll do it. And then he calms the storm down. And then he looks at Peter and he goes, Peter, do you know who I am? And Peter said, yes, you are Jesus, the Savior, because Peter's also Arab, by the way. They were neighbors. They married 2 cousins, by the way. Long story, I'll tell it another day. And Peter tells him, Christ, if this is you, say the word, and I shall walk towards you. And Jesus goes, come, pussy. And Peter starts walking on water, right? And all of a sudden, he remembers, holy fuck, I'm walking on water, right? Because you're not supposed to do that, because we're human. And so he starts sinking. And he cries on to Jesus, Jesus, Lord, please save me. And here's why, again, I think Jesus is a professionally, like he's a motherfucking, like he's a, like chef's kiss psychopath. Because instead of just reaching out and helping him or just lending him a hand or telling him, hey, believe, he does what I believe is the biblical version of get fucked. He just looks at Peter and goes, oh, ye of little faith. That was my time, guys. Thank you very much. Give it up for Amen.
George Tarabai, everyone. I have a realization I made whilst watching you all perform. I think vowels are black. Reason being, whenever we want to shorten our words, the first thing that goes are the vowels. Yeah. Our next comic is an engineer, so watch him hone his craft and meticulously build the jokes that will be tickling your sides and ribs. Everybody give it up for Andy Quash.
Hey, what up? So I've been on the dating apps just like everybody else in this room, apparently. At the same time, I've been hearing companies getting hacked, leaking their personal information. And then in my head, I'm like, well, these women aren't giving me the time of the day. But these hackers, they're breaking international law to get my information. All right, that's dedication. That's a green flag. And who are the usual suspects? Usually it's like Chinese hackers, right? Which is great, because that's my demographic. But unfortunately, that's not a green flag. In fact, that's a very red flag. Over here, we have astrology, but over there, they have the Chinese zodiac. I'm year of the dog. So just in case Hinge gets hacked, I put on my profile that I'm a dog person. So I went to the club for the first time ever the other day, and it was terrifying because I didn't know how to dance, but I picked it up on the spot. So essentially what you want to do is you kind of want to sway your hips back and forth and kind of want to keep the arm low. And already you're on Elon Musk's level. And he gets laid like 14 times, right? So anyway, if something interesting's happening, you gotta throw in some snaps. If something interesting's happening, throw in some snaps. If the music is like really hype, you arm up. But I'm an engineer; it's the rule. I don't make these up. But in between, like at around 120 degrees, you don't want to put your arm there, right? Because that's the Nazi salute. But believe it or not, even if you accidentally do it, you're still on Elon Musk's level. Another thing I was terrified about was dancing with another guy's girl, right? So I don't know if you can tell from how I look, how I am, but I can take a few hits. You weren't supposed to laugh that hard. But I don't want to start any fights, right? So what I did was I started tracking all the women coming in. So like, for example, women like number 10 and 11, they came in with guys. So they're probably taken. Women like 16 and 17, they came in alone. So they're probably single. But sometimes it gets complicated, right? So I see like women, 2, 3, 17, 21, 23, they're Asian. So I start mixing them up. Next, women 16 and 17 who came in alone without guys. I thought they were single, right? So I check up on them, and they're making out. So they're not single, but it gets a few snaps out of me. One time, a group of 6 came in, right? 4 girls, 2 guys, and I didn't know what to make of that. Like, what is that? And I'll tell you what that is. That's Russian roulette, right? The 2 couples, two single women. But if those 2 single women aren't single, that's a fully loaded gun right there. One more bit that's I haven't really refined yet, but people have been asking me like, why did you get into stand-up comedy, right? And for me, as an Asian, I think it dispels a lot of myths that Asian men have, right? Like they're shy, right? 'Cause you can't be shy if you're doing stand-up comedy, right? They're introverted, stuff like that. It dispels a lot of that. Unfortunately, it doesn't dispel the myth that Asians have small dicks. But fortunately, it does prove that I have some pretty big balls. All right. Thank you very much.
One more time for Andy, everyone. It does take big balls to be on this stage. Yes, yes indeed. So, speaking of, we were talking about dating, and we need to visit that again because as single men in a country like Canada, it's very competitive, it's very cutthroat. You have no friends. Everyone is out with one goal in mind. Now, the strange thing about that goal is a lot of women have stopped looking their age. Take me, for example. I'm not a woman, okay, clearly. But I decided a long time ago that the stress of work that was turning my hair white is too much to keep dyeing it, you know. And I don't have the balls that Joey has to dye blue, so I just decided to keep it white. But the problem is, this day and age, Botox is as readily available as Panadol, or Tylenol, as you call it here. And you can't tell if a woman is young or young looking. You can't tell if she's of age or if she's just de-aged. So basically, I have a meeting with a parole officer next week. And our next comic is also a very lovely person. And whenever I try to say her name, I try to make it sound foreign and exotic, much like her. So everyone, please give a warm round of applause for... Shit, I'm having a brain fart moment. Andrea Rodriguez!
I love coming up to pedophile jokes. It's my favorite thing. I requested, actually. Oh man, Joey, you had a good set. Every time I see Joey and I laugh, I really have a moment of asking myself, what's happening to me? So, I guess I'm not doing well. Literally like 3 hours ago, I was watching Legally Blonde, and I cried. That's not a sad movie, guys. I was moved. She's a hero to me, I guess, now. I don't know another way to tell you that I don't have a relationship with my mother other than telling you I cried to Legally Blonde, because that's what's happening. I am free next weekend is all I have to say. It's Mother's Day. I have seasonal allergies, and they're the worst. Anybody else here have seasonal allergies? Brutal, right? The symptoms are so irritating, and you have to resist indulging the symptoms, because once you indulge them, they get worse and worse and worse. It's a lot like arguing with a toxic ex. Once that train gets rolling, it's not stopping. I'm the toxic ex. I'm going through a breakup, which is not that bad, but I guess it's a little bit stressful. Excuse me. Yeah, going through a breakup. I'm breaking up. I broke up with my boyfriend because he was addicted to pornography, which is kind of fucked. We tried to make it work. Like, we tried to talk about it. We went to couples therapy. I even offered to let 10 to 12 men come all over my face if it would help. It didn't help. But my skin is glowing, so there are upsides to it. I asked him to look at it from my point of view, but when I said point of view, he just got hard and stopped listening. That election was pretty wild, eh? I'm not really happy with the results, honestly. I don't really like liberal. I don't like liberal men specifically. The only thing I want left leaning on my man is in his pants, you know? That's about it. I do love a big man in a big truck, though, hence all the denim and liking, I guess, conservative men. This is all just an embarrassing confession. I do love a big man in a big truck, though, honestly. I just love that they have the ability to abduct me, but the restraint not to. That kind of self-control is very attractive. I am a classy woman. I think I want to exclusively date autistic men. Then I won't have to pretend to like eye contact during blowjobs. I am a woman, but I have a mustache because I'm European. And I decided to stop waxing it because the opportunities I've been getting out of having a mustache have been great. Is it possible that if men date me and I have a mustache that I'm a gateway drug to being gay? Is that possible? I'm single, but I'm not on any dating apps. But I do miss that like dopamine rush from being on a dating app, you know, like that ego boost. So I've decided that instead I'm just going to post really good items on Facebook Marketplace with no intention of actually selling them. I'm getting a lot of messages. It's very, very exciting. I get messages like, hey, is this still available? When can I pick it up? Is the price negotiable? And those are all the same messages I get on a dating app, so. And yes, the price is negotiable. Being single is kind of exciting to me, but what I'm not looking forward to is having a bad hookup. You know, when you are really looking forward to hooking up with someone, but then it's disappointing. It's like going to a restaurant where you're really excited for the food and it just sucks. Like, I really could have made this better at home, you know? This food did not make me come. All right, everybody, just like a bad hookup, I am ending on that disappointing note. I've been Andrea Rodriguez. We'll bring up your host.
Shit, Andrea, I'm sorry, I think I punched you the wrong way. I apologize. So, one more round for Andrea, everyone. Newly single. She might make you take up pornography, though. So, her ex was into porn. Come on, guys, pay attention to when comics are on the stage. So, having traveled a little bit, you pick up a lot of things about languages. So, for example, Japanese is a very guttural, direct language. Kuwaiti dialect Arabic was pretty much the same. I remember when I was there and one person was trying to say, turn off the light, turn off the light. They were saying, sik hai. Sik means close, hai means that. And I didn't understand what they were saying. So I was saying, like, what? So he was like, sik hai, sik hai, sik hai, sik hai. And that's another language that our next comic is very fluent in, and just to give her a little taste of home and giving her what she wanted in terms of what she asked my friend George to do, here's my impression of a Canadian pirate. Arr, eh? Sorry. Give it up for Ava, everyone.
Okay, I'm kind of semi-one-handed. Whoops. Okay. Oh, God, I hate these lights. I keep saying it's like, change it, guys. Anyways, I can't cover them like that, so. I am German, like I got the passport and everything. And Well, like I'm guessing close to the first time in my life, I don't need to be ashamed of, what happened in the past anymore, since the United States have Hitler. So it's pretty good. We've improved, and they gone, south, at least, of Canada. Anyways, Germans are not really known for their sense of humor. And if you don't find me funny, I don't give a flying fuck. I'm not home with my husband. So I'm not wearing this for, cosmetic or, whatever reasons. I broke my radius. So I'm really, don't ask me to do any math that has to do with circles, please. It was alcohol related, all right, by this shit my husband drank. Anyhow, no, honestly, he's an abusive husband. It's like, whatever. Talking about alcohol related, I remember when Daryl used to make a joke. I can't remember what the joke was, but I do remember you drowning a pint of beer doing it. So it's like, I love beer too, but I've been clean since this morning. I had a shower, all right. No, I love my beer. I'm German. What do you want? My husband is doing what he always does, like nothing. That's a thing, right? I guess. One of my husbands is doing nothing. The other one is probably doing well. No, I do have 2 husbands. Have you heard that before?
One.
Huh?
Just one.
Just one time or just one husband?
One husband. One ex-husband.
No, I got 2. No, in Germany, the German government allows or accepts the Canadian marriage, but not the divorce. You have to beg for it. So in Germany, I'm actually a bigamist. I could get arrested for that. But it wouldn't really matter because I would go with my boyfriend anyways. Yeah, it's like my boyfriend still gets carded for, like, if he's old enough for purchasing alcohol. It's a true thing, I'm sorry. It sounds so bad, but it is so good. I still get carded. I get carded too if I'm old enough to get a senior's discount. So it's like it all works out, right? Somebody's got to have the bloody card on them. I can't come up with anything anymore. No, I really had nothing prepared. I just wanted to be not home. So I just wish everybody a lovely weekend and a good rest of the night. And yeah, it was nice being here. Damn it. It hurts.
One more time for Ava, everyone. So, we are culminating near the end of the night. We still have some comics left for you guys. You having a good time? Thank you again, everyone, for coming out despite the disgusting weather that we are having. If you're hungry, we have patties, beef, and lentil, so vegan, and if you like meat, we have it. If you don't, we have that too. There's a lot of snacks, so in case you guys have been, and you need some, come on, look, I moved here from a place where this shit was illegal, and now it is legal. So trust me, I am all sorts of confused here in Canada.
So there's cookie dough?
Hmm?
There's cookie dough?
Yeah, there's cookie dough. Of course, just see Jake behind the counter, and he'll hook you up. Now, our next comic is one funny guy. I've seen him perform many times. He always manages to get a laugh. He's the more famous Parsons. He's basically young Sheldon if young Sheldon was a redneck from Alabama. Everyone, give it up for Zach Parsons!
That's probably the worst comparison I've ever heard. Young Sheldon. Ah, ooh, clever. I like how you mentioned the snacks before I got up, too. I know your game, my friend. Dante was talking about having like famous birthdays and shit, sharing a birthday with a famous person. I don't know who mine is, but fucking Osama bin Laden died on my birthday. So I don't know what that gets me, if anything. Today's my birthday, though. Yeah. Let's play the old game. Guess how old I am. Guess how old I am, sir? Go on, first one that comes to mind. Sir, I am 23 years old. And I say that with sadness. We can't all be young and good looking like you. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I know I look like shit, but you know. No, I look pretty old, but it's fine. I love Hamilton. The other day I was walking outside a church. I saw a guy just fucking shadow boxing outside a church. And I was like, that summarizes Hamilton completely. You know? He wanted to fuck up some nun in there, I'll tell you that. Some nun, her day's coming. Or maybe he was like fighting a spirit. Maybe he was defending the church. You didn't think of that at all, did you? Yeah, he was fighting off he was fighting the devil. Give this guy a fucking medal, I guess. You know, defending the church from the spirits of the damned. Yeah, Andrew is Italian, and that fucking sucks. I was at a bar in Hamilton earlier, and I love Italian guys because they're just funny. Like, just how they talk is fucking funny. Like, I was outside a bar, and this dude comes up, and this drunk guy is over here, I'm right here, and he comes up to us, and he says to the drunk guy, he's like, yeah, I heard you were telling people I was going to get some guys over here to fucking whack you out. What's that all about? And I was like, what the fuck? That's just a crazy way to walk up to somebody. And then the drunk guy, he was like denying what the guy was saying and shit. He was like, no, it wasn't me. And then this other guy comes over, this other fucking Italian guy, and they're both just grilling this guy. But the funniest thing was, this fucking crackhead came up asking for change, and this Italian guy was like, we got enough fucking problems right now. This is fucking funny, man. I don't know. I was pretty scared, though, you know. Watched a lot of movies, you know. He was an immigrant. He kept saying that. He was like, people always got a problem with me because I'm an immigrant. It's like, I'm European. It's like, okay, dude, you're Italian. You're not fucking European. Don't be ambiguous. Ambiguous for effect. Fucking, I can't even say anything bad about him because I'm scared of him. Because you never know what you're gonna get, right? You know? Like, every day I was walking down the screen, saw a dog with a bigger dick than me. That's always like a not quite a wake-up call, but a step lower than a wake-up call. Shock, I don't know. Okay. This is a bit of a switch. I like to jerk off before a big decision. Like just for the moment of clarity laughter. I think a lot of guys do this. It's like Raven from the classic TV show That's So Raven. Get like a moment of clarity, like a glimpse into the future, you know? Like, yes, Mr. Kennedy, we should invade Cuba, yeah. I remember the fucking punchline of that anyway. I do have a fucking big decision, but the problem is, like, a big decision for me is, like, should I go to McDonald's or Tim Hortons, you know? So here I am in traffic, jerking off, in the middle of traffic, not even in my car. Hey, man, oh, is that the light? All right, cool. I'll do one more. So it's a tough economy right now. A lot of people losing their jobs. My brother works as a scarecrow in the farmer's field in Flamingo. He's got laid off, you know. And so what they're going to do is they replaced him with a guy made out of hay. And I'm not trying to get political, but these fucking hay people are stealing our jobs. These fucking hay people work for 10 cents an hour, no bathroom breaks. You know? I haven't gone up in a while, I apologize, I have to look at my phone. For hundreds of years, man scared the crow. Told the hay people around. I'll change the subject because that's not even a finished joke. I pissed my pants the other day. Ask me why I did it. Because I love freedom. Because here in this country, I'm going to piss myself with impunity. Not those fucking backwater hay people countries.
Young Santa, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys, since it's election, it was election season, and I know since I moved here, everyone loves to wear their heart on their sleeve, and they put their bumper stickers on their cars to show you who they are voting for, whether it was the Fuck Trudeau flags that you had before, or the plethora of different gang-affiliated signs that you had for this election. It was very eye-opening to see. One of the funniest things we have is the one where they tell you there's a baby on board. Like, I'm saying to myself, that is a very graphic way of telling us that your wife likes it raw. Okay? Okay. Now, our next comic. Everybody, please give a warm round of applause. What the hell is warm applause? Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? Welcome, everyone.
Okay, right off the top, I'm not sure if I need the microphone because it gets in the way. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move this over here for now. I don't think we need that. You can still hear me?
Yes.
Good. I've never been here before, but I'm glad I came because it seems like I can talk about my testicles and my penis. First of all, the testicles. They're fucking huge. Really big balls, because it takes a lot, like somebody said earlier, a lot of balls. I'm a bit disorganized because I used to have an assistant do this, but I had to lay her off because of the tariffs. I know why it's wrong, it's backwards. So how long do I have up here? 7 minutes?
No.
5? All right, let's see if we can get 4 more. Today, this is an interactive, audience interactive set, and I need a lot of cooperation, otherwise it doesn't work, and I come away crying, and then you start laughing, which is not really good. So what we got here, anybody recognize this island?
Pig under a blanket.
There you go.
Scotland.
Any Britishers in the house?
Scotland.
Yeah, great. So we've got Britishers over here, we've got an engineer over here, another British engineer over here. So that's a whole bunch of us already. So what we got here is Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland fucked off, and across here we've got Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian was a Roman emperor that came over at some time and told his soldiers, build a wall across there to keep all these morons out. And that wall was very effective for many hundreds of years, 400 and some odd years. That wall was there, kept all these fucking idiots out. When the Romans left to look after Rome, this wall was undefended, and we brought in Angles and Saxons from northern Germany to look after the wall and keep these morons out. The Anglos and the Saxons, they eventually became the Anglo-Saxons, which is where our language comes from. Now, this is a language lesson because it says right up there, talking, right? You know, so we're going to jump right in on that. Holy shit, it's all backwards. So what we're going to do is the northeast of England developed some very powerful words of wisdom that you're going to benefit from for the rest of your life, if I can find them. They're told in an ancient accent, a very early form of English that still has a resonance with all of the Britishers. So if you ever go over there and you use some of these wise sayings, it'll help you out of a lot of trouble. But I wanted to introduce the words to you in an alphabetical order so that you can understand the sentences when we put the words back together. But you get my, oh, here we go. Right. So this is the list here, right? So it's arranged alphabetically. After this, there's going to be some C's and D's and so on. But what we're going to do here is we're practicing the words now so that the sentences make sense at the end. Right now, these don't make any sense. Do they? No. Okay. So this first word is al. This is a. This is al. Now, you see the difference between these two? This is al, and this is al. So try that again, because you got it wrong. Try this again. Al. Good. This is hard because the E is doubled, right? So we have to say B-yo. Try that. B-yo. No. Try it again. B-yo. Much better. This has two E's at the end, so it's bledi. Try that. Bledi. Yeah, you're good. The people that I did this with the other night, hopeless. But I figured it out when I got home. They're all fucking drunk. So you guys are not drunk and it's working. This one here is borst. Borst. Now you can drop the R because you're Canadians, right? And it's very difficult. I'll even Canadianize it. So try and rough over the R. It's more like borst. Borst. Yeah. You guys are fantastic. Okay, up here there's a number 2. I've just got to quickly find number 3. And it's over here somewhere, I'm sure. Oh, we found number 5. Okay, we'll put number 5 because I think I'm running out of time. Number 5. Oh no, that's no good either. That's no good. Oh, here we go. Oh my God. You know what I'm going to do? I figured this out the other night. I was sitting there trying to get to sleep, terrorized by these fucking charts. I thought, I'll go on Amazon.com and see if I can get a projector. And apparently I found a projector for like $54. You put it on the stage right here and it projects all this shit. There's a screen. There's a screen even. Look at that. It'll come out even more brilliant than this. So, I mean, does that not sound like a path to fortune? I mean, I'm losing you with these fucking charts. Anyway, so the D's after 2 comes 3. This is deer. No. Deer. Good. Divot. Flying. Hard. And heed. Right, quickly number, what are we up to? 4. Number 4 over here. I think I should have had a separate sheet of paper for each one instead of putting them on each side. But never mind. Yeah, that we can speed through this because we're coming to the end here, is hort in its, if man na, nacker, we'll try that again, because I got it wrong. I got a blister on my tongue, you know, and I'm doing this really often. Did it this morning, trying to quit smoking, so they said, chew gum. Fuck that, you know. I use these instead. Maybe I got one here. Yeah, look at this. My buddy says, well, you got a tampon in your mouth. I said, fuck you, I'm trying to quit smoking. He says, you're an idiot. Anyway, this is nacked. Nacked. So the d actually comes t, nacked. So that comes later on when you get good at this. Our. Sell. Skull. Wow, who said skull like that? Skull. Over there.
A Viking.
A Viking? You're a Viking. Yeah, them Vikings, they came over and made a mess with those Anglo-Saxons as well. What a terrible state that was. There's 3. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. Right, this is the end of the alphabet, folks. Look, why? There's no W's or anything. Anyway, so this is stubbed. That, they'll. Will ya, ye. That's the end of the alphabet. You now know the words, or you've got them, you know, you've practiced some of the pronunciation. Now we'll try and string them into sentences, which are words of wisdom from the ancient land. I mean, this goes back to probably before Jesus. So not so well. So there, say a friend comes up to you and he might say, what do you know? Because we want to know what people know. And we say, what do you know? And he says, come on. That's and then he'll come back with, no man, I didn't know now. So this is 6, so we might go to 7, oh that's 8. Yeah. It's nice when you find one that you want next. It all runs in order. Okay, so, oh yeah, this is a good one. I couldn't get my car started, and my friend's a mechanic, and I come over and I said, can you fix it? He lifted up the hood and he looked up and he says, wait there man, it's knacked. Knacked, can you try that? It's knacked. And knacked comes from an old English word from knackered. And knackered, you know about that, very tired out. And it goes, an old horse goes to the knacker's yard where they make glue. That's what knacked means. Here's number 8. Oh, this is good. This is very good. Say you bust into your 13-year-old's bedroom accidentally, right? No, let's not do that. Say your friend says, oh no, I can't do that one. All right. You spot your friend picking his nose like this. All the way up there. You can say to him, didn't, come on. Didn't. Do you, that man, you'll hurt yourself. Because, you know, hurt yourself. Yeah. Do you need translations? Or you're getting what they really mean? You'll hurt yourself. You'll hurt yourself. Yeah. Do you want to try it again? Didn't, do you, that man, you'll hurt yourself. You need more drink, I can tell. All of you. Good. How's the time going? Where am I at? Well, you're. Oh, we got this one. Yeah, one more. We got number 9. All right, yeah. So, say you're on a number 53 bus. How about the number 2 bus on Barton Street? Right? I live at Naban Barton, so I understand Barton. Like deeply. So you're on the number 2 bus, and the kid behind you is kicking the seat. And you turn around, and you give him a dirty look. And he stops. And then he starts kicking the seat. You turn around and you can yell this at the top of your voice. And I'm going to yell it at the top of my voice first, and then you can practice afterwards, all right? So I would turn around So he hands me this one. I'll turn around to the kid and I'll say, "If you don't stop it, I'll bust your head in." And what happens then is the kid freezes. There's no applause. Freezes. And then you turn back, and because it's Barton Street bus and there's a kid on the number 2 Barton Street bus, starts kicking this. So I turn around and I yell at him again. I hope this is page 10. This is, the problem with this is you lose the timing. Anyway, what he says next is, turns around and the kid's kicking the chair. He says, "I told you! If you don't stop it, I'll bust your bloody head in! There'll be skull and hair flying all over the place!" And that's how you play it. You want to practice that? You want to practice the screaming? It's good, you know, it gets you in the throat. It's like smoking cigarettes. Hey, it'll be a lot of fun, and thank you very much for putting up.
One more round for Ray, everyone. Always nice. Ray, I'm going to tell you something you probably never heard anyone say this to you before. Since it's the first time I've seen you here at CFTA, thank you for giving us your stage virginity. Now, I'll be honest, when I saw an old man come up here with words that didn't make any sense, I was kind of looking at the floor trying to see if there's a Ouija board and if we're collectively trying to raise a demon from hell. Now, no, not there yet. We're not there yet. Since we're winding down the night, I'm going to leave you with a little story, a little bit of culture, a little bit of my culture. Now, I'm not sure how it is here, but in the Arab world, when anyone is getting married, not that I'm anywhere near that, you know, I'm still recovering from the last one. Whenever someone is getting married, they have to have a wedding, right? And your weddings are all about booze and get out of here.
Sex.
And sex, yes. Sex, thank you for bringing that up, because here's how it works in the Arab world. Now, you need to keep this in mind. Usually, you're supposed to have been waiting all your life for that moment to have sex, especially if you're a Muslim in the Arab world. Now, as you're getting ready to, you know, have sex, a lot of things are rushing through your mind. But what shouldn't be rushing through your mind is that how all of your guy friends are going to be trying to peg you. And the reason is, science decided that the man's G-spot is located up his ass. And your friends, being the good friends that they are, feeling that you might be a little bit trepidatious about what's to come later on that night, they're like, you know what? We're gonna excite you all the way. So they try to shove their fingers up there and really get you riled up for your wife. True story. True story. Now, the other thing that we have, which is also for male pleasure, is the belly dancer. Egyptian weddings especially. Not my wedding. Couldn't have a belly dancer there. But the way I see it is that belly dancing is also meant to excite the male. You know, you're seeing a woman's heaving bosom bouncing up and down, and it gives you ideas. And then you look at your wife and she's also looking there. So now you're wondering, am I getting into a uncharted territory here? Well, she also finds her attractive. And then you end up going up to your room and she's already in there with the belly dancer. And on that note, not that the next comic is a belly dancer of any sort or bears any moral to any part of this story, but he is one funny gentleman, an established comedian, a delight to see whenever he's on the stage. Everyone, please give a loud round of applause for Dan Brennan!
I really only came here to pick up my hat, which I left on Monday, and then just by automatic I signed up. I didn't even mean to do it. But it's nice to be here. It's nice to share the stage with you guys. Thanks for saying such nice words about me. I was going to take the piss out of you for mentioning snacks when there's only comedians in the room. It's nice. Good job, everyone. Asian Where's Waldo? Nice to be performing in front of you. Sorry, I had to. I'm jealous. I can't wear a hat like that. Zach's not back yet, so I can't take the piss out of him, but his set I found disturbing. Anyways, you better come back, because I have an observation. So really, I'm only here because as you go through your journey in comedy, you play all sorts of different rooms, right? Like you play places like this, dedicated to the talking arts. You play clubs. I've done wedding barns, you know. Sometimes you even get to play for real people. It's very exciting. Last week, and this is, you know, how quick things change, I had an experience. I performed comedy in a sex club in Mississauga. And I was offered to do it like 8 years ago. It's this young guy who runs the show. And he said to me like 8 years ago, he's like, "Did you want to come and do comedy at the sex club?" And I said to him, you know, I was a bit nervous about it. I was like, "I don't know if I can do comedy at a sex club." And he goes, "Dude, it's all right. There's loads of guys there that look like you." You're not selling me on the idea, right? But what happens with this show, as you would imagine, is you get really good, because it pays well. This is a rule in comedy. The better the gig, the worse the gig, the better the payday. That's just a fact. So guys get booked, really good comics get booked on it. And I think what happens is on the Wednesday, their better half goes, "So where are you performing tomorrow night?" "Oh, this place in Mississauga, it's called Club M. I think it's called Club M." And then they go and look up Club M and be like, "You're not fucking performing at a sex club tomorrow night." Because every month on the day of the show, he's like, you know, and I usually have a show. I have a booked show on a Thursday. But I was free last Thursday, so I said, yeah, I'll do your sex club show, man. Let's check this out. And here's the thing about doing comedy at a sex club. If there was ever a gig you didn't want to show up early for, this is it, you know? But like they give you the tour of all the rooms right away. So like within 2 minutes being there, I'm seeing some guy get a blowjob. I don't know if I'm supposed to applaud. And I want to be honest with you, I'm not a germaphobe, but I don't think I could have sex in a sex club. But, you know, you only need to take one look at my browser history to know that I like watching people have sex, okay? So we get our free drink tickets, and it's my turn to perform. And this is what I learned. I learned something. Because, like, up here, it's mostly people that are dressed. But over here, right, just kind of out of your periphery, there are people fornicating, all right? You know what I mean? And this is what I learned. I learned a big pair of tits are the exact same thing as a big dick. Because there was this fucking guy playing with this soup can of a cock out of the side of my eye. And just like a big pair of tits, I could not take my eyes off it. I'm like, what the hell is going on over there? So as the headliner was on stage, I was again having someone else's drink ticket. And this woman in a sundress came bouncing up to me like about, you know, this tall, absolutely beautiful, black hair, curly. And she comes bounding up to me and she goes, "You're actually funny." And because they do get a lot of bad comedians through there because of the cancellation thing, right? She says, "You're actually funny. You made me laugh really hard." So I was like, I had a boner at that point, you know. She hit me right where I live. And this actually happened. And I'm just going to tell you this, and I'm probably going to walk away in shame. But she said to me, you know, "You're really funny. I've never been roasted before. Would you roast me?" And I said, "Don't we need a third person for that?" She's like, no, make fun of me. But I'd lost all credibility at that point. So I have a year. That's the one thing that you get out of it. Not an STD. I got a year's membership to the sex club. Should anybody want to go and look at people have sex with me? You know, we'll just get one of those chairs that faces the bed and away we'll go. Yes, thank you, Ray. A wheelchair. No, a cuck chair, Ray. You can learn about that later. You had a hard time up here, Ray. You would have thought a man like you had enough time to run a dress rehearsal during the day. Eh? You know what I mean? Like, what had you so busy you couldn't put your fucking things in the right order? I tell you, that assistant you fired, she's at home right now laughing and eating popcorn watching this. She's never felt so valuable in her life. Just do it quickly, Ray. You went well over your time. I'm very annoyed with you. I'm like, fucking hell. I said, Craft time at the senior home. Let me leave you this, and then we'll all go home. They say that tragedy plus time equals comedy. But it's been my experience that if it's someone else's tragedy, you don't have to wait that long. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. That is a wrap. For those of you that have loved ones, do let them know that the CFTA is live broadcasting all of their shows on the YouTube channel. So please do tune in to that. In case you want to review all the delights that we had tonight on the stage. Thank you, everyone. Get home safe, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.